सभी को प्रणाम। मैंने अपने लास्ट वीडियो में डिस्कस किया कि व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट साइंटिफिक अप्रोचेस विच आर ऑलरेडी पब्लिश इन द रिसर्च पेपर्स related with the cancer, because we are trying to understand the entire concept by taking one disease as a common example. Now I just wanted to say, like, scientists also believe that cell is a basic structural and functional unit of our life, and if we go into the detailed structure of the cell, then cell basically contain various cell organelles. It contains some fluids which we call it as cytoplasm, as an aqueous matrix, nucleoplasm which is present in the aqueous matrix and the nucleus, mitochondrial matrix which is present in the form of mitochondria. So they believe that there are certain cell organelles inside the cell, either the nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, right? And they all are membrane bound in the eukaryotes, and they are less well organized in the prokaryotes. And they believe that, like, there are some biomolecules, like for example nucleic acid. Nucleic acid contains DNA and RNA, and some carbohydrates are there, some proteins are there, water is there, minerals is there, coenzymes are there, cofactors are there, and these biomolecules, they are making a one cell which they consider as natural molecular crowding condition, right? So because these biomolecules, they are just interacting with each other, which we call it as biomolecular interaction between the different molecules, and as a result of which these biomolecules, when they are self interacting with each other, they are just following the some fundamental pathways. For example, to replicate the cell, there is a DNA replication mechanism. To make a protein, there is a DNA transcription. When a new DNA forms, then there is a process of DNA recombination. There is a process of DNA damage, although it is protected, but there are lots of radiations, oxidative damage, so that can allow the DNA damage, and we have a DNA repair pathways also. So ultimately they consider that there are biomolecules inside the cell, and they are trying to identify the targets within these biomolecules to either to identify any disease or to treat any disease. The entire functional genomic studies is based on the DNA sequencing. When the Genome Project was there, it was published by the researchers, and they have identified all the possible genes which are present. They have given information to the human world, like in this the length of this entire DNA within the human is 3 billion base pairs, 3 into 10 raised to power 9 base pairs, and that DNA sequence is very unique. It carries the information about the inheritance of the characters, and within this entire genome, there is only 2 to 3% which codes for a particular protein. And the surprising thing is, the entire world is focusing on only on the 2 to 3% part which is involved in a protein production, because proteins are considered as a building blocks. That's why their more focus is on the genes which are giving the protein, right? But they are unable to understand the mechanism, the gene sequence, the molecules which are binding to the target. This all mechanism is same in all of us, but still, why the one person is suffering from one kind of illness, or the another person is suffering from the another kind of illness, or there is a repetitive illness which is coming from one generation to the other in the family, but the reason is not known, right? So they used to relate each and everything with the DNA molecule, because they consider that DNA is a molecule which is responsible for the inheritance of the character from the one generation to the other. But how this DNA molecule, in the form of a polynucleotide chain, it is transferring the information, this information is totally lacking in the scientific literature, and hence the targets are very well identified. They are published in the form of the research paper, but still the entire world is suffering from the complex illnesses as it is, because their true reasons are not known to the scientific community. And this is my ultimate purpose, like I just wanted to give the divine directions to understand these biomolecules in the reality. How we can understand these biomolecules in terms of the spirituality. What is the ultimate reality of the DNA that we are carrying? How it is making each one of us in a very unique in our appearances, in our genotype, as well as in our phenotype, right? Because I can just give an example. Suppose if I talk about a brain, so brain is just holding a nerve cell. So if we see the structure of the nerve cell, it is found to be common in all the individuals. The structure of the brain, the structure of the heart, the kidney, muscles, everything is same in all the humans, but the organ is working at a different level. Have the scientists able to identify the genes which are responsible for any intelligence? Do they know the reason? Okay, like why the people are not able to identify more than 10%, even the billion scientists so far existed on our earth cannot utilize more than 10% of his brain. What are the reasons? So have they identified the genes which are responsible for the intelligence? They cannot identify, and in fact it is not possible to identify. Then this is the reason that we have to understand the human body in terms of the energy. They used to consider like the cell contains nucleic acid, but if we go to the structure of the DNA and RNA, then we will be able to identify that these are the polymer of a mononucleotide. And if we see all these molecules which are making the DNA in terms of the element, then the entire DNA is just made up of few elements only: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. If we come to the second biomolecule, which are the carbohydrates, energy yielding molecule within us, these are polyhydroxyaldehyde and ketone. It means again, in terms of an element, the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen is present. If we see the biomolecule in terms of the protein, then proteins are the polymer of amino acids. So there are 20 amino acids which are linked together by the peptide bond, and hence they are making a protein as a polymer. So they are also containing carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur, right? So in totality, I can say that all these biomolecules are within the cell. We are just giving the different names as a biomolecule or the cell organelle, but ultimately we are carrying 70 to 80% of the water within us, and in addition to that, we are just made up of unique elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur, right? So other than that, there is nothing which is present in a cell. So once you burn the body, then if you analyze the ash of the burnt body and do the atomic absorption spectroscopy to identify the nature of the elements which are present within this ash, you will be able to identify only the certain elements, nothing else. And because each element in its core contains an atom, atom is made up of electron, proton, and the neutron. So within the center of the nucleus, there is an proton and the neutron, and electrons are revolving in the specific orbit. So atom is basically responsible as a core molecule to make any matter. Matter means all the molecules which we can see with our eyes. So if I am saying like we are just an unique elemental being, and because this ratio of these elements, they are different in each and every individual, and hence the energy holding capacity of these elements, they are different, and hence each and every individual is different from each other with respect to their energy levels only. And whatever the energy status of a person, that energy status is reflecting in the form of an aura. If you are in a high energy state, then obviously your aura will be stronger, it will be more expanded. And as you know, the entire creation is based on light and sound. लाइट एंड साउंड, जैसे हम कहते हैं कि ओम की ध्वनि से ही पूरे सृष्टि का निर्माण हुआ, तो ओम क्या था? साउंड, ओमकार. एंड लाइट एंड साउंड, जैसे हम कहते हैं कि जब हम किसी वाइट लाइट को प्रिज्म से पास करते हैं तो 7 लाइट्स में वो स्प्लिट, 7 कलर्स में स्प्लिट हो जाती है, जिसको हम विबग्योर कहते हैं: वायलेट, इंडिगो, ब्लू, ग्रीन, येलो, ऑरेंज एंड रेड. इफ़ यू सी these energy, मतलब we are an energy being, and we are carrying all these 7 colors within our energy aura in the form of specific energy chakras. So the upper one is violet in color. So VIBGYOR trend is lying in the entire energy passage of the human body. So our last one is Mooladhara, which is represented with the red color, and the upper one is Sahasrara, which is represented with the purple color. So VIBGYOR mein all the 7 colors are present within us, right? And because each and every element is carrying a different and a unique energy, so these elemental status is found to be unique in each and every individual, and hence if you are in a high energy state, then your energy aura is more, will be towards the high energy colors. You know, violet will be more. So upper, these are the high energy centers, and some are lower energy centers, जैसे मूलाधार, स्वादिष्ठान, मणिपूरक, अनाहत, विशुद्धि, आज्ञा चक्र और सहस्राकार. So these energy centers and their colors is different. So when the person follows more and more divine path or in a higher energy state, then obviously the color which is reflecting in our upper energy chakras, it will be more expanded, right? And that's why we see in our gurus or in our God scriptures, you know, we show मतलब there is a representation of the attachment of the white light. White light means कि light, because white is original color from where the creation has been started. It means कि like उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने पूर्णता को प्राप्त किया. That's why they turn into the white. White means कि like there is no color which remains, so there is no bandhan, there is no tie up. That's why they are totally liberated. So when the soul is totally liberated, that time there is a white color, right? तो हमने ये देखा कि हर इंडिविजुअल, साइंटिस्ट सोचते हैं कि हमारे अंदर सेल ऑर्गेनल्स हैं, सम बायोमोलिक्यूल्स हैं, वो बायोमोलिक्यूल्स आपस में इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं. जो वो इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं वो सही से इंटरेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहे, उनकी वजह से जो डिस्टर्बेंस हो रही है उसके अंदर कुछ हमारी बॉडी रिफ्लेक्ट करती है ना. अप रेगुलेशन, डाउन रेगुलेशन, बायोमार्कर्स, ऑक्सीडेटिव डैमेज, ये दीज आर द ऑल पॉसिबल reports which are published in the research papers, but they do not know the cause. Suppose if the oxidative damage is going on, they do not know the cause कि why there is an excessive oxidative damage inside the human body. They do not know the cause, and cause is not published in any of the research paper till now, and hence they are failed. So we have to understand कि as I told you कि like if we go into the details, 70 to 80% is water, and as per the Vedic sciences we are just made up of 5 elements only. The first, the most important element which is not visible with our eyes is the ether element. Akash, Agni, Vayu, Jal और पृथ्वी. इसलिए इन 5 तत्व, when they are in a balanced state in any individual, the person will never be sick. And if any of the element is imbalanced, then person can never be cured. So the ultimate healing of any human body is just the balancing of all the 5 tattvas in the human body. If they are disturbed, either they are more, any of the element is more, then you will suffer from the diseases which are related with that particular element. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल किसी को बहुत गुस्सा आता है तो उसके ऑरा से अपने आप ही रेड कलर ज़्यादा एमिट होगा, बिकॉज इट रिप्रेजेंट्स अ फायर. When you are more creative, then your aura will emit the blue color. When you are in an energy decline state, then your aura will be more black in color. If you will be more divine, then your aura may contain more white color. So that's why the energy status is visible in the form of energy aura, in the form of different colors, right? So we will also discuss about some more concepts in the detail. Then only I'll be able to clarify like why the disease diagnosis is possible in 5 minutes at this particular divine place of the Karauli Shankar Mahadev Ashram, which is not possible even by any of the scientists existing worldwide. They are totally failed, right? So I will discuss the same aspect in the next video. Pranam.